Hello, everyone, and today we're going to once again talk about how much money you need to invest in crypto to actually get $1 million back. We're just going to take out taxes because that makes it a lot more complicated, but how much do you need to get $1 million back in basically gross at this point? And we're actually going to do calculation numbers at this point. So this is kind of like a weighted average lesson in math too, if you don't really know how to do this in crypto. Kind of a handy tool. So we actually have some assumptions, obviously. Right now, the overall crypto market cap is $1.72 trillion. And I'm assuming that, based on my prediction, we're going to get to about $10 trillion at the top of the market. And I'm assuming that Bitcoin will get to about 150,000 because that's what I've said for a long time. And Ethereum will get to about 10,000. So Bitcoin at 150,000 will roughly be 2.9 trillion market cap. Ethereum at 10,000 would roughly be 1.183 trillion market cap. And that leaves 5.971 trillion for everything else. So essentially, you have if you went directly for BTC, that would be a 3.2x, and you would need over $300,000. If you went directly for Ethereum, you would get a 4.1x, and that would roughly be a little under $250,000 to get $1 million. And if you actually went all in on an altcoin index, you would get roughly 10.5x from here until the top of the bull run. And then you would need about $96,000 to get to $1 million. But what if you don't want to go all for Ethereum, or all for Bitcoin, or all for alts? What if you wanted to do 30% BTC, 30% Ethereum, and 40% alts? How would you actually calculate that? Well, you would take a weighted average of the multiplier. So because you're taking 30% Bitcoin, you would take the 3.2x multiplier, times it by 0.3, add the 4.1x multiplier, multiplied by 0.3, and then add on the 10.5x multiplier multiplied by 0.4 because you have 40%, and you would actually get an answer on that. And I think I've done this before. I think I remember it's like 6.36 or 6.5. It might be completely wrong. You can check my math on this, but I think it's around 6.36%. And that generally means that if you actually just took 30% Bitcoin, 30% Ethereum, and then 40% alts, you would roughly need around a little over $100,000 to actually about $157,000, $160,000 to get $1 million. Now, obviously, the further you go down the line, the higher, the less you'll actually need. But the further you go down the line, the more likely you'll end up broke as well. Now, you could calculate something, but you would need more numbers. If you say I want to buy all coins outside the top 100, what's the weighted average for that? Well, you would actually have to figure out what your expected average market cap is for the top 100 coins. And that's kind of a hard thing to do. And then you have to calculate at the top of the bull run, what do you expect the top 100 coins to do? I was able to gauge for Bitcoin and Ethereum because I believe that Bitcoin is going to be about 150,000. Ethereum is going to be about 10,000. I think to do that for all 100 coins is going to be very, very difficult. But my guess is if you whittled it down, if you just take out the top 100 coins and you did this kind of calculation that way, you would probably get around $20,000, $30,000 is what you would actually need. Maybe for $1 million if you bought everything outside the top 100 or 200. But it's a much more complex calculation because you would have to sort through every coin. But taking a weighted average, basically you have 3.2x for Bitcoin, 4.1x for Ethereum, and 10.5x for alts. And this is just to show you how I calculated about alts have about 10x right now, slightly more than 10x right now, from here until the top of the bull run. Now, obviously, this changes a lot. If you don't think Bitcoin's quite going to get to 150,000 or going to be more than 150,000, then the multiplier will definitely be higher or lower. But these are just assuming my numbers. And I just did the example of 30% Bitcoin allocation, 30% Ethereum allocation, and 40% altcoin allocation. If you're doing like 50% Bitcoin allocation and then like other allocations for Ethereum and alts, then obviously, you're going to have a lower multiplier and you're going to need more money. If you only do like a 10% allocation for BTC, 10% for Ethereum, and then like 80% for alts, you're going to get like an 8, 9x. You're going to get like an 8 or 9x multiplier, and you will need less money right now. But even if you just took an alt index, you would need about $96,000 to make $1 million right now invested into crypto at this point. So yes, if you're looking at like a mostly Bitcoin portfolio, you're probably looking at something close to or maybe even around $200,000. If you're looking at mostly altcoins, you're probably looking closer to $100,000. So there is that difference. And of course, if you do like only under 1,000 coins, it's probably like $10,000, but it's also incredibly risky. Like if you like basically invested all into AWT, you might only need $10,000 or possibly less, but you also run a very, very high chance of just losing the $10,000 without getting much in return. So take your picks and risk lightly. Take your seriously, and don't screw around and mess around with too much of your money. But this is just kind of like a calculation of how much do you need calculated for $1 million. So that's the news for today. Let me know what you think. Like and subscribe, hit that bell notifications button. Thank you and have a nice day.